Alrighty, welcome back. So I am going to show how kind of a battle would work out here in a best case scenario so that it's a little bit easier to understand. There are some little details here. So what will happen is there's a sequence to how the game gets played. First of all, you add your supplies from counting up the city cards, which are the ones here in the middle. Stemming off of those are usually going to be your heroes or your character cards. Along with any weapons or armors that they might have. And so that I have the Nephites on this side and the Lamanites on this side. What you're going to need to do is, if the Lamanites are the ones initiating the attack, for example, and we have enough cards to do that, how to do that is you have to have more strength than they have defense, or equaling their defense. So in this case, the defense on the Nephite side is a defense of, looks like 7. Okay, and so what we'll do is we'll add the offense or the strength on this side, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have a strength of 9 and a defense of 7. That's a difference of 2. Okay, now since both sides have a fortitude of 3, that's this bottom right hand number here for the fortitude, which is right here on the card. Since both sides have a fortitude adding 3 or greater, then both sides gets to use the top number for the war number on their reserve deck. And so you add that to, on this side you'd add it to the strength, and on the other side for the defending side you add that to their defense. That number will also be used in the casualties of war portion of the battle, so you can still have suffered losses even though you initiate the attack and have sufficient numbers to do so. So in this case, we'll pull over a, looks like it's the Sword of Laban. That's going to have a 2 on the top of that war number right there. And so we are now, we had 7 here, we now have 9 over here. That would be 10, 11. Okay, and then on the other side, on the Nephite side, we would draw a number here and we have a 3. Okay, that is a breastplate right here, but that top number right here is 3. And so we are 7, now we're at 10, so we have 10 to 11. So there's only going to be a loss of 1. Now we will keep these cards right here for now. These are the cards that we just drew from the top of the deck. So we again we have again we had a 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 versus 11. We are going to have to lose a difference of 1, either from here, which is the bottom of the forfeit number here, or we can lose that from either our hand, what we have in our hand here, or we can lose it from the top of our deck right here. You know, typically that becomes very costly. If you keep losing a bunch of cards, you're going to end up losing the game. So usually it's going to be better if there's a lot of losses to be using the forfeit number, because you're only losing 1 card. But in this case, again, we're only losing 1 on this. And so I will go ahead and I will use the top card here, which I lose a character card. But again, I get to keep what's in my hand, which I wanted to keep. And then I'll just put this in my lost deck, or my lost pile, which will be on the outside right here. So with that said, since even they won by 1, right? Remember, 10 to 11, they won. And we've, let me see here. We are going to have to actually lose a total of 2 cards here, okay? Because that number is 2, and normally we would lose it from our forfeit numbers here at the bottom left-hand side. We could have lost a total of 4 from, it looks like Helaman, and a total of 6 from Ammon. Now, if these guys have, on the bottom, it says, for example, on Helaman, if he was here by himself, we would not have to lose any, because he's immune to casualties of war. Anything less than 4, he doesn't lose anything with. But unfortunately, we would have to, because we still have Ammon in our hand. So we still have to lose 2 cards. So I've already lost 1. I'll take 1 more from the top of my deck. This is risky. Okay, we'd end up losing another hero, King Benjamin. But that's one way of doing it. It's not the only way of doing it. We could have lost one from our hand, but that's one way of doing it. So now, here's where this comes into play, because we did have enough to draw a war number from our Nephite side. So they have to lose a total of 3 as well, okay, because of the casualties of war. Both sides end up losing, right? So they have to lose a total of 3, and they can do so by, for example, they could lose, let me see here. The easiest way would be to maybe lose here. This is a on the bottom left hand side, that is a forfeit value of 2, and then we could lose 2 there, and we still have to lose 1 more, and that would be 1 card here for the weapon, and we could lose that as well if we'd want to, or we could lose 1 from the top or from our hand. Okay, but since we know what this is, I'm just going to put it down here, and so we know what we lost. Okay, so you can still end up winning the war, but kind of losing the battle, right? So there is some luck to the game. There is some strategy as well. Hope this is kind of helpful for the battle segment and for the casualties of war. All right, there we go.